This is Nick, and I will be doing a series of videos on physical science. The first in the series of this, first in this series is about proportionalities, the difference between directly proportional and inversely or indirect proportionality. Those words can be seen and they're used quite interchangeably. But I just want to clarify what they actually mean and to reduce any possible confusion in relation to them. Sometimes you might even see words like non-proportional or unproportional. You might see variation, an inverse variation or indirect variation. So we're going to try and clarify those terms. Proportional is the same as direct proportional or directly proportional. Okay, so if you see direct proportional or directly proportional, it all means proportional, and they are used interchangeably. And in terms of the equation, that means that x is equal to some constant. Y is equal to some constant k, x times x, or as I said before, x is equal to some constant k multiplied by y. So you can see these examples here. And it means that as x is increasing at a constant rate, and we can call that constant rate m, then y is also increasing at a constant rate, and we can call that constant rate p. I've decided to use m and p as arbitrary letters. They don't really mean anything in terms of the letters, but I wanted to make sure that you understand that the rate of x is constant, but it's not the same as the rate of y. The rate of y is also a constant, but it is different from the rate of x. So that's why I wanted to make sure that it is understood that the rate of x is constant, but is different from the rate of y, which is also constant. So I therefore decided to use two letters, the letter m and the letter p, to make that distinction. Indirect proportionality or indirectly proportional is the same as inversely proportional. Okay, indirect proportional is the same as inverse proportional, and the equations are given by y is equal to some value k, some constant value k, divided by x, or x is equal to some value k divided by y, and those are given by these equations. It means that as x is increasing at a constant rate m, y is doing just the opposite, which means that the y is decreasing at a constant rate, and we can call that p. Okay? In a later video, we'll talk about what happens if the rate of increase or decrease is not constant. But we're only dealing with constant rates right now, and in this case, the constant rates are going in opposite directions. This is a symbol for proportionality. This is a symbol for proportionality. So it means that, like in this example, y is proportional to x, right? Y is proportional to x. That's how it's read. And the symbol, even though it looks pretty similar, it should not be confused with the symbol for infinity. And the symbol for infinity is different, but there is some similarity. And then especially when they're written very, very small, there could be some confusion. Then what happens is that you take out the proportionality sign and you replace it with an equal sign. Take out the proportionality sign and you replace it with an equal sign. So you have down here y is proportional to x, and this y is proportional to x becomes y is equal to some constant value k multiplied by x. Y is equal to some constant value k multiplied by x. Now, generally speaking, if you are multiplying, you're dealing with a direct proportional. If you are multiplying, you are dealing with direct proportionality. Like in this case, y is equal to kx, y is equal to k multiplied by x. If you're dealing with a division, if you're dividing, then you're talking about an inverse or an indirect proportion. So you have y is equal to k over x, y is equal to k over x, which means that it's y divided by x. It's y divided by x. Okay, so that's the end of this video about proportionality. So I hope I've clarified the differences between those two types of proportionalities. In the next video, we're gonna look at conditions for direct proportionality and conditions for indirect proportionality. Okay, conditions for both the indirect and the direct proportionalities.